Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Monday morning. This is Cody with Secure Agent Mentor and SecureAgentMentor.com. We come to you every single Monday with something to make you better. Whether you're in the state of Washington or the state of New York or in Florida or in California or in the fantastic, phenomenal state of Missouri, we are here to help you as a new agent, as a struggling agent. Doesn't matter where you're at in your career, I can promise you that you can get some value out of what we're offering, what we're sharing on a weekly basis. Our YouTube channel and the videos that we produce, you will get more than $1 million worth of value and even monetary value over your career by learning and implementing these tips, tools, resources, advice, and actual strategies that we give you every single week. So thank you for clicking on this. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching week in and week out. Thank you for all of our dedicated subscribers, all the people that follow us, all the people that are following this movement, so to speak, that are trying to become better, that want to improve. And so this week we are going to go over, I believe this is the 16th straight week of doing the weekly insurance training. This week we're going to go over scripted responses to sales objections. And we all know that objections are a part of conversation in general and are a part of sales. And so when you get an objection, what do? Do you tense up? Do you freeze up? Do you do you not know what to say? You know, are you just to the point, whether it's early in your career, late in your career, whatever it may be, that you're just don't know how to respond when objections arise? Objections is a client or a prospect crying out, asking for you to overcome it so that they can buy from you. By giving you an objection, they want to buy. They just want you to give them more information or more reasons, or they want you to ask again, or they want you to actually overcome the objections they're giving you. Sometimes they don't want you to overcome it at all. Sometimes they just want to kind of throw you off your game in a little bit, and we'll get into that as well. But I've got actual scripted responses, what we actually say, and we have different responses for whether it be whether we're trying to get an in-person appointment or whether we're trying to get a sell over the phone. And so I'm going to cater this to our telesales division and our local agents. I mean, you can tweak this a little and make it apply for either way. Okay, and so we've got not interested. Obviously, you get not interested a lot. You know, we've got I'm busy, or I don't have time, or we've got send me over some information. You know, mail me some information, email me over some information. We've got, you know, I'm not the decision maker, or I don't have a budget. There's no budget for this, or I need to talk to someone else, or price is too much, or I'm already working with another company, or what do you do and who are you with? Or call me later, you know, call me next week, call me next month, call me next quarter, call me next year, which is normally, not always, but normally polite customers speak for goodbye forever, we'll never speak again. And so we're going to go over each one of these and give you scripted responses of how to overcome these objections. Before I jump into the objections, I want to give you a couple things to think about, a couple things that you've got to get good at and implement into every response or every time you speak to a prospect. The three things that I think that you've got to master or that you've got to incorporate into your sales life, and it's got to become a part of you, is you've got to have a positive mental attitude, a positive attitude altogether. Clients buy us, prospects buy us, they buy positive attitudes. They buy individuals that have a positive mental attitude, and they're walking around smiling, they're happy, they love what they do, they're passionate about it. If you don't have a positive mental attitude and you're not 100% positive, I'm not even saying 99%, that 1% can affect you and your life and your sales career. Most of us are at about a 50-50. I'm working every day and writing down, one of my goals every morning, every night, is to be 100% positive throughout every single day. Do I always meet that? No. We're all human. But that's one thing that you have to implement. is you have to be 100% positive, have a positive attitude when you're on the phone. Second thing you have to do is you have to always agree. Everything the client says or prospect says, you have to always agree with them. Disagreeing with the prospect or making them wrong will end your chances of making a sale sooner than you ever thought possible. And I don't care if they say, you know what, your price is way too high. You know what, you're exactly right. We have high prices, and let me tell you why. And I'm proud of them, and so you're agreeing. The third thing you got to always implement is you've got to think that you can make a sale on every call, with every prospect, every client, on every appointment. Doesn't matter what it is. And by thinking that way, you're obviously assuming that, and they're going to feel that, and they're going to actually feel that you're expecting them to buy, and it's going to make an impact on them, and they're going to actually end up buying because of that. So have a positive attitude, always agree, and think you can make a sale on every call. So, okay, let's dive into the actual objections that you get. The first one is not interested. The client says, I am not interested. What would I say to something like that? Well, the average individual, the average agent, would probably say, well, why aren't you interested? Well, what they're telling you when they say they're not interested is they do not have enough information to make a decision yet, or they don't want to talk, or they don't want to make time for you, or whatever. So when they say I'm not interested, here at Secure Agent Mentor, we say, of course you're not interested. You don't have enough information to be interested. The fact is, you don't know me, and I don't know you. So why would you be interested? Now, what's your date of birth? As you could tell, I was positive. I agreed with them. I overcame the objection, and I went straight back into asking for whatever I wanted to ask them for. So I'm going to say that again. The client says, hey, I'm not interested. Of course you're not interested, Miss Betty. You don't have enough information to be interested yet. The fact is, you don't know me, and I don't know you. So why would you be interested at this point? Now let's get you a quote. What's your date of birth? I can promise you it works. I'm going to repeat them twice. If you need to write it down again, or you didn't get a chance to write it all down, rewind the video and write it down. Because I promise you, this is the number one reason we miss sales, is we do not know how to overcome objections. Okay, so write that down. The next one that we are going to go over is I'm busy or I don't have time. I'm busy or I don't have time. The prospect says, hey, I'm too busy. I don't have time for you. We understand you're busy, and we know you don't have time. And that's exactly why we're calling you. Your free quote will only take 30 seconds. I've got your date of birth as this. I'm too busy. I don't have time. What we would say is we understand you're busy. We're agreeing with them. We're sympathizing with their response. We understand you're busy. We know you don't have time. And that's exactly why we're calling you, Mr. Joe. Your free quote will only take 30 seconds. Now, I have your date of birth as January the 1st of 64. Is that correct? You're just rolling with the punches. They are trying to throw you off your game, or they have a legitimate objection that they want you to overcome. So again, that was I'm busy or I don't have time. And the reason we're doing this is, again, this is the number one reason why we miss sales, is we don't know what to do when we get objections. The third one, send me over some information, mail me over some information, email me some information, just send me some information. Now, with this one, we need to find out if they actually want information, or if they just tell everyone to send them information so they can toss it in the trash. Send me some information. Excellent. I'd be happy to send you information. In fact, I have something ready for you to look at right now. What's your email? Or let me text it to you. This way we can spend 10 seconds explaining it and showing you. You can look at it. Is email or text easier for you? You want to send it. You want to send them the information that they're wanting while you're on the phone, so that they can see it, look at it, and you can have a conversation about it. Because you have a chance to actually get that sale if you're still on the phone with them or still in front of them, because they're not going to review it and call you back. Very rarely, I would say about 1 to 3% of the time, do they ever actually review whatever you send them and actually call you back about it. And only about 10% of the time do they actually review what you send them anyway. So again, send me over some information. Excellent, excellent, Joe. I'd be happy to send you information. In fact, I have something ready for you to look at right now. What's your email? Hey, let me text it to you. This way we can spend 10 seconds explaining it and showing it, and you can look at it. Is email or text easier for you? Which would you prefer? You're rolling with the punches. You have an exact response. The next one, I'm not the decision maker. I don't make decisions. My wife handles all of that. Whatever it may be. Whatever it may be. And again, the reason we're doing this is the number one reason why we miss sales. Let's not miss sales anymore. Let's write these down. Let's take notes, and let's win. I'm not the decision maker. Hey, let me ask you, if half of what I'm saying is true, if only half of what I'm saying is possible, are you the person to make a decision on this? Okay. No, my wife handles everything. Okay, so your wife is the one that I need to talk to who actually makes a decision on this, correct? Yes. Okay, let's get her on the phone. You don't want Joe to go and explain Betty what you talked about, because I can promise you some words will get skewed, throughout the process. So again, I'm not the decision maker, or you don't know if they're a decision maker, or they're acting like they're not. Let me ask you, if half of what I'm saying is true, if half of what I'm saying is possible, can you pull the trigger? Are you allowed to make a decision on this? Are you going to put your big boy pants on and say yes? Whatever it may be. Then my wife handles it all. Okay, let me talk to her, please. Let me get on the phone with her and explain to her what I'm offering, because I can promise you she's going to want it. If half of what I'm saying is true, she's going to love it. Again, this goes back to making big claims, big hooks, having a script that jumps out at them. Maybe I'll share my actual telesales script at some point in the future with anybody that joins the call. But I'm telling you, our script is phenomenal. It's got huge objections. It's got huge claims. It probably brings some huge objections, but we're prepared to answer them because we're making huge claims and we're jumping out and surprising them right off the bat. We're not boring. Okay, so the next one, no budget. And they say, hey, I don't have a budget for this. I don't have a budget. There's no budget allowed for this. We haven't made a budget for this, whatever it may be. Of course you don't have a budget for it, Mr. Joe. You don't even know about it yet. Why would you have a budget for it? I didn't have a budget when I bought Netflix. 99% of the people that we talk to don't have a budget. Now, is your date of birth this? Or would you agree with that? And so, again, I don't have a budget. Of course you don't have a budget. You didn't even know about it. Why would you have a budget for it? I didn't have a budget when I bought Netflix. 99% of people don't have a budget. That's just life. Are you ready to pull the trigger? Okay. Next, need to talk to someone else. You can tie this one in a little bit with a decision maker. Hey, I need to talk to someone. My wife and I need to get together. We both decide on things, and kind of like a one-legged appointment or a one-legged call. I need to talk to someone else. Hey, my son takes care of all my financial affairs. I just need to talk to him. Great. Super. Who would that be? Who's the decision maker on this? And let's get them on with us. And they say, well, actually, it's my wife, and she's at work. I can't get her on the phone with us. Okay. Is your wife going to say yes or no? When you talk to your wife and you explain this to her, you know your wife. Is she going to say yes or no? Well, I don't know what she'll say. You've been married for 30 years. Guess. Give me a guess. If you had to guess, what would she say? Get them to answer your questions. Don't let them avoid your questions. Okay, next. Price is too much. Price is too much. Your price is too high. It's too much. You want to get this objection out earlier in the conversation than later. And I used to be of the school of thought that, hey, you want to wait for the price as long as possible. You always want to build value, but you don't want price to be the very last thing because you don't want them to object at the very end to price, and then you be up a creek without a paddle. So, hey, your price is too much. It's too high. Let's put the money aside for a second, and let's show you what I do. This is you've given them the price early on, and then you want to go throughout the rest of the call or the rest of the appointment justifying why your price is so high and building value larger than your price, so by the end of the call, they actually think that it's a good value and that the price is actually right in line or even less than what they thought it would be compared to what they're actually getting. Let's put the money aside for a second. Let me show you what I do. You want this objection early in the conversation. You don't want it to be the very last objection. That's an old myth that's not true. Okay, the next objection. I'm already working with another company. We get this one a lot in the insurance business. Hey, I'm working with another company. I already have a policy with XYZ company or whatever it may be. My goal in this, fantastic. My goal in this call is to just simply provide you with enough information to see that there may be another alternative. The last thing I want to do is waste your time. After just 45 seconds, if you don't see that this is the best decision for you, then I'll hang up on myself. Now, is this your date of birth? Again, my goal in this call, Miss Betty, is to just simply provide you with enough information to see that there may be another alternative. The last thing I want to do is waste your time. After just 45 seconds, if you don't see this as the best decision for you, then I'll hang up on myself. I'm telling you, these work. These work. They work in a big way. The next one, what do you do or who are you with? What do you do or who are you with? Most of the time they don't even mean it. Most of the time they're just trying to throw you off your game, throw you off your script, get you to get away from your product or your price or your pitch into just throwing you off in a way. What do you do or who are you with? You know what? We give the best and lowest life insurance quotes, period. Now, I'm going to give you one real quick. Now, what's your date of birth again? What do you do? Why are you calling me? I'm calling you because we give the best and lowest life insurance quotes, period. Let me give you a quote real quick. Is your date of birth this? I'm positive, I'm agreeing, and I'm always assuming and thinking that I'm going to make a sale on every call. Next one, call me later. Call me next week, call me next month, call me next quarter, call me next year. We get this one a lot. Call me later at any time. Call me at a later time. Call me this month. Call me next year, whatever it may be. Absolutely. That's a relief because our rates are so low, we've been super slammed with new prospects. And let me ask you, hey, Miss Betty, if you were 100% sure on what we had to offer, would you move it up and make a decision right now? Tell me that. You guys are like, this is some freaking value right here. This is $1 million worth of sales ideas and objections. I'm going to make sales immediately from this. And you're right, you will. So again, hey, call me later. Absolutely. Believe it or not, that's actually a relief. Because of our low rates, we are super slammed with new prospects constantly. Let me ask you, if you were 100% sure on what we had to offer, would you move it up and make a decision right now instead of waiting? Bam. They're going to think, wow, I got to do business with this guy. He's a sales superstar. You know, this guy's Superman. Again, we went over, not interested, I'm busy here, I don't have time, send me over information, I'm not the decision maker, there's no budget for this, need to talk to someone else, price is too much, already worked with another company, I've already got XYZ, what do you do or who are you with, and call me later, call me next month, call me next month, call me next quarter, call me next year, whatever it may be. We want to, especially if we're sending them information, or if they want us to call them later, we want to justify the fact that we're going to send them information or call them later. We don't want to waste our time. We don't want to tell them this. What we want to tell them is we don't want to waste their time. But in reality, we don't want to waste our time by taking time to send them something, an email or a mail, or actually call them at a later date if we know that they're actually not going to make a decision on this at any time in the future. A lot of times they'll say, well, call me next month. And we'll find out that it's because they don't get their check till the 3rd and they don't have enough money for it right now. So it's kind of a mix between I don't have the money and I want you to call me later. Well, I'm going to go ahead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and send you over the paperwork right now. You can sign it while we're on the phone, and we'll just start it next month on the 3rd. Sound fair enough? If you do not have pre-scripted responses to sales objections, you will miss sales. The number one reason why we miss sales is we do not know what to do when a client or a prospect gives us an objection. Have pre-scripted responses to all your objections. Write these down. And the 3 things to always incorporate into every objection is to have a positive attitude, that they can feel you smiling through the phone, that they can feel your passion. Number 2, always agree with everything they say, because you're never going to make a sale if you don't. If you disagree, you will not make a sale. And number 3, assume and think that you can make a sale on every call, and assume and think that you can make a sale on every appointment. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for commenting. Again, this is Cody with Secure Agent Mentor and SecureAgentMentor.com. Have a phenomenal week. Write these down and overcome every objection that everyone ever gives to you with a positive attitude. Always agree and think you can make a sale on every call. Thank you very much for listening.